Welcome to yet another amazing episode of Fitness and Finance Radio. Myself, Tony Shore. I'm here with Jennifer Scherer and Jeff Smith, both amazing people. Here's the problem, though. Here's what's great for our listeners and viewers out there. Jeff spelled backwards is fedge. But Tony spelled backwards is why not? So I've got that going for me, which is nice. Why not? Jennifer, I'm not even gonna. If we can go with Jen, that's Nedge. I don't know. It would be Reffinedge. Jennifer is Reffinedge. That doesn't work. Roughage, yeah. Always trying to push the kale. Yeah. She even brings that back. Ooh, my last name backwards can refer to kale. It's like, why do you always have to bring the unedible into it? Well, if you just massage it first, Tony.
Well, I remember you telling us a story recently about how you had kale and actually enjoyed it.
That's true.
Oh, that was for off air. That wasn't for the masses. I don't want to admit that.
He feels so exposed right now.
I know.
I do. I had the best kale salad when I was in Nashville, Tennessee. I was actually down in Brentwood, and there's this family that the guy's a chef, and he was a chef for years and years. And then eventually the restaurant got bought out or went under, and he now just cooks meals for people on a private list, and he can only do so many, and they pay for so many, like a meal or two a week. And like wealthy people, stars, and there's a waiting list to get on this list to get his meals is impossible. Right. But the family I stayed with are on the list. They're friends. Wow. I don't know if they go to the same church or what have you, but this guy cooked the best meal, and the kale salad. I'm like, that's kale. I'm not going to like that. And they go, Shane, my friend, I don't like kale. You got to try this. So I did. Ate two big helpings of it. Didn't even need the main course. It was so good. I mean, I don't know what he did to it. What kind of magic he put in. I don't know if he ground up pizza and sprinkled it on the kale to get it to taste good.
Nashville hot.
Yeah, the Nashville hot chicken sauce on there. Yeah. But it was delicious. So yes, I ate a kale salad and enjoyed it.
Wow.
I had to admit it here.
You have any sound effects?
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
It does. And you know what? It was magical.
See?
Yeah, see? It was magical. Well, today, you guys have some great things we were talking about before the show. And it's like we get into this discussion about what we're going to talk about on the show. And if we'd just been recording, we'd have a show. So, finally I say, save it for the show. I'm going to get t-shirts made. Save it for the show. Don't worry, Jeff. We'll cut the sleeves off of yours for you.
Well, I thought
you show off the gun show. Yeah.
Yes, I have a hoodie with no sleeves. So
yeah.
It's a new
I know.
look.
I don't know where you find these things. Next, you'll show up with a collared shirt, no sleeves.
Oh my gosh! I wonder if I could pull that off for actual appointment.
You probably
for an actual appointment.
So I'll have my suit.
Just wear the vest.
Well, yes, I wear a vest when I dress for
a vest and a tie, no other shirt, nothing, just the vest
just
and a tie,
a bow tie too.
A vest and a bow tie. Now we're getting into. What was that? Chippendale Dancers, the Chris Farley bit with Patrick Swayze.
Yes. One of my favorites of all time.
Yeah. One of the best. One of the best comedy skits of all time. However, we're not talking about that. We're talking about my need for instant gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want it now. In fact, I want it yesterday. I want results yesterday.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like I brought this up as a topic.
Yeah.
And I was sharing a story right before the show about I have a current client that is having great success. She's lost 10 pounds. Her posture's improved. She just feels better, like less stress, feels like she's able to take deeper breaths, that type of thing. And her husband is noticing. And he, in the past, was successful with weight loss doing HGH shots. And she's trying to convince him to
human growth hormones.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's trying to convince him to come, along her path, alongside her, like as her partner.
A more holistic path.
Yeah. And so she's working with me in both fitness and nutrition. And he is not willing to do it because he wants it yesterday. That's kind of what we thought about for the topic today. And it's amazing the overlap in both fitness and finance. I think we both see that. And for me, it's like the challenge is a lot of people want quick results. They want a six-pack. They want a six-pack. They want more energy. They want to lose weight. But real progress comes over months and years. And that's the kind that lasts.
That's the progress that's going to last. If you don't have to work for it, either there are very harmful side effects, or it's not going to last typically,
right.
or it's not good for your health in the long run, right?
Well, it's also been my experience that people are not necessarily willing to do all that it takes, every step that it takes to have that success. They want to go from A to B. I mean, it was like my kids, right? They, when they were little, I wanted them, to prep them for little league and basketball and all that stuff. And so, they didn't want anything to do with fundamentals. In fact, my son one time said, I said, you have to learn how to catch and throw for baseball. And he said, no, I don't. I'm going to be the DH.
The designated hitter.
He was like 6 years old.
He's 6 and he's like, my career path is designated hitter. I don't have to learn how to do anything else.
He's like, I'm going to hit dingers all day. That's all I'm going to do. And I was
dingers all day.
No.
I wonder where he gets that overconfidence from. I'm just trying to think of somebody I might know. Oh, Jeff Smith. That's right. The Jeffrey Smith man. Yeah. Yep.
That's the mentality, right? You want people see A to Z, right?
Yeah.
And it happens in our business. A lot of people look at us and go, geez, you've had so much success, you get to travel, you get to do all these things, blah, blah, blah. Well, they didn't see the 70, 80 hours a week that we put in to build businesses. And if you want success, you can't, there's no real shortcut. And I think this is what this whole podcast is really about, is that there literally is, Jennifer will map it out for you, but you have to do it. She can't do it for you,
Right.
And saving is a skill. Financial planning is a skill. But if I tell you, hey, these are the things you have to do, you actually have to follow through with those things in order for the plan to work, right?
Right.
Just because I say it doesn't mean that it's automatically going to happen, right?
Right. So people come to you all the time, probably where, they're a year out from retirement and they go, I want to retire next year, or I want to retire early. And you look at their situation and you're like, well, you would need this amount. And then they say, and it's like twice what they have saved. And they say, well, okay, how in 12 months can I get that? And it's just like, no, you need to
raise a significant raise in saving all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah, I have had some experience with that. And that's really hard for me, right? I want everybody to be, in a good place.
Right. But that's not everybody. A lot of people come to you and they're worried, like, we don't think we can retire. And you tell them, oh no, you could retire tomorrow if you wanted. Right. I mean, so you do get the other side too, right? A lot.
All the time.
Yeah.
Probably more so than the other.
Yes. Which is good. But people do want instant gratification. They're like, that's why people play the lottery. That's why people throw their money away on the lottery, because they think, oh, I'm going to, this will be my ticket.
Or those high risk schemes in, crypto and day trading and all
Day trading is also.
It's why Ponzi schemes work up to a point until the person doing it gets caught, which they always do. But they work because people are like, wow, he doubled my money in 6 months. So I'm going to give if I put it all back in and let it ride, I'm going to make even more. But eventually the guy and the money are gone. Right.
Yes.
They're in the they're in the Caymans or something, so
And I feel like the reality check in this whole situation is it's the crossover between fitness and finance is in fitness. I always will choose consistency over intensity. I have people come in and they just want to go all out and they do it for a couple weeks and then they
get burnt
have to
out.
rein them back in. It's like, okay, let's make this a little bit more sustainable. I'd rather see 80% of the time showing up and doing a moderate workout than 50% of the time going all out. I'd rather take that 80% of moderation, because that's the stuff that's going to mean the difference between a short-term fix and a permanent lifestyle.
Yes.
That's manageable.
So that's super interesting that you bring up that point, because as we've trained people, and there are people who will go over what they need to do, because they think that they'll also get there faster, right? So learning how to pace yourself is, you have to have this mindset of a marathon, not a sprint, all the time. You have to say, geez, I need to collectively make good decisions, stringing those decisions hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month, and so on, right? You string a good life together by making good decisions in the moment, based on what you have for information, right? So
it's like running a full marathon. If you're going to run a full marathon, right? And you think, I'm going to go all out for the first 5 miles, and you run as fast as you humanly can from the start of the race for 5 miles, you might be in the lead part of that time. But guess what? You're not going to win the race. In fact, I doubt you'll finish.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the power of compounding a little bit too. It's like in fitness, it's 30 minutes a day. If you think about 30 minutes a day, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you add that up over the course of a year, you're talking hours, probably hundreds of hours.
Yeah, hundreds of hours, and you're going to feel so much better, and you're going to see the impact, and it's going to be longer lasting. Same with finances, right? Compounding interest. It's the power of time. Time is what you need to build up a retirement portfolio, right?
And both, you have to have patience. I mean, you can't come in and say, I need this yesterday. I think it's the reality has to set in of this is a process, and it's going to be the rest of your life committed. There's no way around it.
If you don't have 8% return in a week and you want to trade, immediately out of where you are, that's a problem, right? And I mean, I think that's what people want is immediate results. I think, fitness is sort of easier to kind of diagnose that piece, because people want to have weight loss like the Biggest Loser. You weigh in and see a 16-pound drop every week.
How can I lose the most weight the quickest? That's the diet mentality.
But if you think about the converse to that, or the inverse of that, for what Jennifer said was like the compounding effect, right? So if you have like a really strong HIIT workout, high intensity interval training workout, that burns calories post workout. It burns. It makes your body continue to burn calories long after. So if I don't work out in a day, which is rare, sorry, that was a joke. If I don't work out in a day, I typically don't close my move ring on my Apple Watch, right? But if I have just a workout in the morning that's intense but even short, I will always close that move ring, because
there you go.
The effect of it is rippling, right?
Yep.
And so, and then if you have you couple that with a decent, nutrition plan where you're eating, good food, and if you do that for a couple of months, you're going to obviously see results. But here's the other thing that's really cool is that if you slip up and have a bad day, you're not going to gain 50 pounds back. You know what I mean? It's just one bad meal or one bad day, because you've worked really hard in those other months. It's the same thing with your finances. If something comes up, you have an emergency, well, guess what? We planned for it. It's here. We got it, and it's not a big deal. We knew that something would happen. We just didn't know when. And
because you're following the plan, so you've got it covered. Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned patience is what's lacking. And we've all been guilty of that. Like I pointed out before the show, we're all human. You said, man, I have a lot of clients who want instant gratification. And I go, oh, they must be human beings then, because that's a lot of people these days. But when it comes to patience, I'm reminded of what my mom always said. Patience is a virtue for which I can hardly wait. Yeah. And I love
that's nice.
Patience is a virtue for which I can hardly wait. I always like that. but you're right. People want it now. And you said, Jeff, that people, they want to jump immediately from A to B, but it takes time. The problem is people want to jump from A to Z. I mean, that's even worse. And I think it's easier to see, like you said, in the health area, especially like weight loss is a great example. People want it, I've done the diets and the things, and I'm looking for the diet. Wow, that guy lost a lot in not much time. I should do that. But that's really, a lot of those diets, if you can lose a lot of weight quickly, it's not good for you. And that means you can gain it back just as quickly if you lose weight in that way. You're not developing good habits.
Right.
You're just taking a quick fix and tricking your body typically to do that, and you're going to deal with side effects. So with finance, we see it where people don't want to, they want instant gratification. If they see the market going down, they want to pull their money and put it somewhere else. Or they have a friend that made $50,000 in a week with Bitcoin, so they think they have to put all their money into Bitcoin.
Yes.
And that they don't realize that person who made that 50 lost half of it the next week. Exactly. And now he's unable to get it out of Bitcoin because the company, he can't, he can't find it. So you've got to take into account the side effects and the risks, right?
Of course. I mean, I think that's why we have fundamentals, right? Yeah. I think that's, we're in a society where we get vines were super popular, right? There's 6-second or less videos, right? And we've been trained over the last 15 years that short bursts of information is dictating our life, right? So we used to read books, we used to have conversations with people that lasted half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and now if it goes past 3 minutes, it's, panic central. Like, why is this so long? And, I
blame TikTok.
Right. Well, I mean,
the internet in general hasn't helped.
Yeah. I mean, you have rabbit holes in every single social media outlet, and you can easily find yourself. I mean, even YouTube, like we're watching, I don't know how we got on it, but that happens. Like we were going to bed and we found like famous singer songwriters with their daughters on stage, right? So it was bands too. It was like Pearl Jam had Eddie Vedder's daughter was singing with him, and then
I've actually seen that clip. And
then the next thing we're watching Chris Cornell with his daughter, and and then every grunge band and their daughter, Dave Grohl, for example, came up, and I was just like, wow, how did we get here? It's like,
you went down a rabbit hole. I've done that too, especially. Yeah, I've went down those rabbit holes on YouTube as well.
But they're amazing, right? They're fun.
It's fun, especially like comedians. Like I went down after a Norm Macdonald rabbit hole once.
So good.
And that lasted a couple of weeks where I just couldn't get enough of. I must have watched every comedy bit he ever did over the course of a few weeks. So, but you're right. I mean, instant gratification is all around us. But how do you combat it? Like Jeff, with your financial clients, how do you keep people that want that instant gratification? What do you tell them? Like if they say, I need to make more money. Let's do something where, like Bitcoin. What do you tell them to talk them down off that ledge?
Yeah, I talk about, the fact that, just because you're hearing stuff about it doesn't mean that it works for you, So I really have this conversation. In a lot of times what I'll say is we don't trade daily. Right. So we're gonna look at things at a quarter at a time. And if they're not working, we'll address that. We'll take, but we're gonna give everything that we do, a quarter at a time. And so when you're upfront with people and very clear that this is how we operate, this is what you need. So I'd like to outplan what we need for returns. Right. So most people that come to me, we don't need to have extravagant returns. We don't have to have 20, 30%. I would never have to have 20, 30% return. It's probably not a good fit for me if we're having to chase that. And I won't do that. That's just not where I am in my
It's practice. Not solid financial planning.
It is not. And that's most of the people that I see are kind of middle of the road with risk. So my whole job is to take the least amount of risk to get the maximum amount of return for them. And also to do what's in their best interest, right? That's my job. So what we talk about are the fundamentals. So I educate on the fundamentals. I ask people to drown out the noise. And yes, if you want to chase that may be something that you do outside of the plan, or we take a little bit and you do that on your own. But I don't want to be associated with that part because it's not fundamentally sound for what we're trying to accomplish. And I just educate people and just say, maybe I'm not a good fit for you if that's the area that you want to go.
So you're straightforward with them. You talk about the long haul. I mean, if you look at the stock market, the beauty of investing in the stock market is if you look at the last 100 years, what it's done, it goes consistently up. If you focus in on a couple of points here and there, you might be, oh my goodness, I could lose 50% in the stock market. Sure, you could. But if you're in it for the long haul, what's your time horizon? Do you have enough time? And if you have time on your side, the market's a good thing. If you don't, it's probably not right for you.
And we
might need other things.
Yes, and we like very intentional diversification. I hate the term diversification within, two conflicting stock. I don't like that. I think that's dumb. You're betting. I mean, it's a standard, rule of thumb. People can use that. I shouldn't say it's dumb, but I don't like having competing stocks, not competing like competitors, but stocks that are going to go in one direction or the other.
Sure.
So basically you're just diluting your portfolio, right? So if it's a bear market, this stock is going to do well. If it's a bull, then this stock is going to do well, right? That doesn't make sense to me, right? So you have to kind of pick a lane or have something behind, the advice. Why are we doing this? What is the purpose of this? What is the And so I think that I always do discuss purpose, right? So when we build portfolios, we're not going to buy a mutual fund from somebody. We're going to literally build out everything tailored to that person. So it makes
because everybody's timeline and personal risk tolerance is different.
Right. Why would you get the same thing as everybody else? So that's what I tell them. And I say, like, when we build this out, we need to achieve. We don't need to have, lottery winnings. If you want that, that's, maybe not. Maybe I'm not a good fit.
Sure.
So, but that's the same thing for Jennifer, right? Consistency. Understanding that we're going to show up for you. You have to do the work. You have to stay in it. One of the key cues that I give everybody in fitness and in finance is stay in it. Just stay in it. Stay with me. Stay present. And
that's good. That's good. So Jennifer, how do you, what do you do to tell people? You say you've got these clients who want instant gratification. What do you tell them? What do you do to combat that or to get them out of that?
I mean, I know this is probably nothing they've not heard before, but real sustainable results take time and consistency. I mean, that's the message I send. In terms of like what I would specifically say to them, I would say, focus on the process, not just the outcome. So instead of asking yourself, why haven't I lost 10 pounds yet? How about you ask yourself, did I hit my protein goal today? Or did I show up to my workout? Did I get enough sleep today?
That's a great point. That's a great way to do it.
Yeah, those daily wins are really what add up to your long-term success. And
because
also,
they motivate you to keep going and do it on a consistent basis rather than looking for the results now. You're getting results by, hey, I exercised today. That's the result we're looking for here. That's going to keep me healthy.
And also, I think there needs to be a shift of their time horizon. Health is a lifelong investment. Lifelong. And I tell people, I have so many clients say, when am I going to be done here? I'm like, never. You're never going to be done here. They're like, wow, I can't just stop after 6 months and just live the rest of my life like I used to. No, you can't. You need to move your body every day.
Is that a real thing?
You need to drink water. You need to eat healthy foods. You need to get good sleep. You need to manage your stress. These are the things that make your life quality. And it doesn't end. And if you only give it 6 months, you're going to be disappointed. But if you zoom out and think, like, what will my health look like in a year from now if I stay consistent? That's where the payoff comes.
Yeah.
And so I think making that a more like transparent Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to guarantee you fast results because they will not last.
Right.
Yeah. Good
So
point.
I think, small habits. There's a book that I love. It's called The Hunger Habit. And the reason I like it is because I think a lot of people look at Jeff and I, or anyone that kind of emanates this fitness and nutrition, ideal, and they think they must have more willpower. And I'm here to tell you, it's not about willpower. It's about having sustainable habits that align with your values. When somebody comes into the office with a box of donuts and you're sitting there thinking, man, I don't know, how am I going to resist this box of donuts? Maybe I should just cave in, or, maybe I should just pass. To me, that's not about really willpower. It's about whether your habits already align with your goals.
Yeah. Or maybe I could somehow sneak the entire box into my office and shut the door without anyone noticing.
But
that's my first thought. It's like, how could I get that entire box?
Yeah, there you go. But
without anybody else taking any. I'm kidding. But you're right. That is a great example, Jennifer, because in my workplace, at least once a week, somebody brings in fresh bagels, and a huge bag of bagels and cream cheese from a bagels place, or a big box of donuts or cookies, or chocolate treats. And so I'm not a big sweet tooth, but I'll tell you what, a donut, that's a tough one. And bagels even worse for me, because if I have that bagel, I want it, I want this much bagel and about that much cream cheese on there.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be good for me. So that's a tough one. But you're right. I think you guys make some great points, and I like that small steps, small victories. That's what'll keep you going in the long term. And Jeff, for you, it's the plan. For those of you who don't have a plan for your fitness or your finance, or maybe you do, but you want to get a second opinion, you don't like where you're at, or you don't think what you have is working for you, here you go. Jeff and Jennifer are right here. So I think we should wrap this up and let our listeners know how they can get a hold of you to set up a consultation to get going with this.
Yes. So for Fredericksburg Fitness, you'll go to our website, and that's fbergfitness.com. F as in Frank, B as in boy, URG Fitness. And you'll click at the top of the page to book a free discovery call, and you will get on my schedule.
Jeff?
Yeah. And, I just want to say real quickly that if people are giving you, the idea that you can have overnight success, you should run from them.
Yeah, run.
And, and I know that this isn't exciting. It may not sound exciting, but we're here to tell you that we've lived it. We're both business owners as well. From a financial standpoint, there's no shortcut, right?
None.
You may be able to have some widget that you invent, but that's equally as probable as winning the lottery.
Right.
But that does, there are people that are really good at what they're doing, and they can create wealth. That does happen. But for most of us, it's going to take a lifetime of commitment and changing your mind about food, changing your mind about your health, changing your mind about your fitness is the key. You can't think the same way that you are now and expect a different outcome down the road, right? Without making that change in your mindset, your body's not going to follow. Your bank account's not going to follow. So understand that, and we've said it before, it's easy to say no when you have a better yes, right? That's so just focus on that. Just say, geez, what does this line up with what I'm doing? Anyway, you can get in touch with me at theretirementsmith.com, and you can click on contact us, and Chris will get us a no obligation, no cost consultation. Number is 540-371-9777. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep. And that website again is theretirementsmith.com or fbergfitness.com, correct? All right. Well, Jeff and Jennifer, a great show. What a great topic. We all struggle with this. We all have. And it's great to talk to two people in the field who have made it work. And Jeff, you ended it on a great note there. You have to change your mindset, change what you've been doing. I think that's fantastic. Guys, great show once again. And that does it for today's episode of Fitness and Finance Radio with our hosts, Jeff Smith and Jennifer Scherer.